Hello everybody, it is John and today I'm talking about a very old role-playing game called, let's see if I can get this into Metamorphosis Alpha. Yes, some time ago, I can't remember if it was Humble Bundle or Bundle of Holding, or one of those. Was it Bundle of Holding? I can't see. I can't remember it. I always put them down as HB and BH for my archiving because it's honestly the cheapest way that I can pick up most of my roleplay and book collections these days. Certainly, Humble Bundle is by far the best value for Australians to pick up their, I guess, almost in some cases out of print material. But certainly Metamorphosis Alpha was one of the early science fiction role-playing games. It was the precursor to Gamma World. And I was been looking at this for a while now and looking at running some adventures because I read, and it wasn't until recently, because I've started to print my Metamorphosis Alpha books, and which is taking a little while. But thankfully, the books aren't, they're 20 odd pages for most of the little supplements that are there, so they're not costing me a huge amount of money to get them printed. So, yes, okay, I've got them as electronic formats, but my little tablet, it's about, oh God Lord, how old is it now? About 3-4 years old now, and it can't keep up. It's too slow turning pages. This is the problem with technology. You just can't win. But I prefer, obviously, physical, something I can touch and something I can read, because it's just so easy to be able to flip backwards and forwards between pages than it is to try and do it with an electronic format. But look, I have really taken a liking to going back and looking at old role-playing systems. Now, I know a lot of people tend to go, oh, I hate old role-playing systems. There's so many better and more improved systems that are out there. Yes, of course there are. But the thing is that with old role-playing systems, you play them and take them for what they are, a product of their time. And once again, a lot of us thought that these were wonderful role-playing systems when they came out. Yes, there were some people who are never happy with anything. Even if you gold-plated it and gave it to them, they would still find a reason to go, that is a horrible, it needs improvement, and we still get that today. So no way that we're going to win. But getting back on track, I'm looking at Metamorphosis Alpha because I have, and the reason, okay, now I'm diverging again. There is an author called M.R. Forbes, and he has a series of books. And the series that kicked me off and had me starting to look at Metamorphosis Alpha again was I got it as a trilogy, which was really good, and I also got it as an Audible. And the Audible is excellent because the narrator for the series has given it a life that is so much better than just reading. But in this case, the series is called The Forgotten. There's 3 books in the series, and it is so much like Metamorphosis Alpha, except we don't quite have the mutants. There can be mutants. I guess there are mutants in some respects. But anyway, the premise with the Forgotten is that Earth is attacked, invaded by extraterrestrial species, and humanity is being decimated. And it is decided that the only thing that can be done to save humanity is to create these gigantic, I guess they call them colony ships. I think they're colony ships. Yeah, they call them colony ships. And leave the planet and head out to, I believe, identified systems where humanity can hopefully thrive. And in this case here, we have a colony ship called the Pilgrim, and it revolves around the fact that the story is about a sheriff charged with keeping the peace. And the premise is they're saying, some things are better off forgotten. And they're saying, that the sheriff was born on Pilgrim. It's a generation ship, so multiple generations of people have already lived on this colony ship, and probably for centuries still to come. They still haven't, this colony ship has not reached its destination, and nobody ever questions. Nobody ever questions it. And of course, as the time has gone on, more and more of the systems are starting to break down. The technology and everything is sort of learned by rote. People are taught to do certain tasks. People are identified by their, are taught by, or they're identified at birth or by their testing and IQ and things like that. So they're slotted into whatever particular roles are best suited for them. So there's sort of, there's testing that more or less determines what people can and can't do. And all the ship's systems are sealed. So you can only access some of the systems only if you have a level of, of clearance that I think, in the book, only one person has. And they control. They're the mayor of this city within this colony ship. And it is really interesting because the premise with this one is that a system breaks down. The sheriff's wife is one who goes and investigate. He gets a garbled message. His wife disappears. He investigates. He finds a bloodied handprint, and it's not of anybody that is registered on the ship. And it's really, really interesting. It's a good book. I suggest you go and read it. But okay, I'm now going to give a spoiler alert. If you don't want to know any more about M.R. Forbes' series called The Forgotten, don't listen to me any further. Because what I'm going to say is that what happens is that the colony ship never left Earth. It's trapped. It never left. It's buried. And of course, this is the whole premise. And I just loved that concept. And I thought, I really want to apply this to Metamorphosis Alpha. I can make some changes. We can get the mutants involved. There's mutants outside in roving around on Earth because these extraterrestrials have come to Earth to purge the planet. And of course, everybody thought Earth would be devastated. There'd be no humans left because the aliens were there more or less to cleanse the planet of humans. But the humans tend to be a rather resilient, belligerent mob and refuse to die. So they're still there. And look, I really do recommend, if you like that sort, and if you've got a fascination for Metamorphosis Alpha, or if you want to look at it with Gamma World, but certainly from the aspect of Metamorphosis Alpha, you could certainly apply Forbes's book of The Forgotten and make that work with a sealed colony ship that never left the planet. And everybody's, you're not sailing off into space. You've still got it sealed on the planet and nobody knows that they've left. And you could run a really, really good campaign based on that. And that's what I think I'm going to do. And the fact that, look, it's an old role-playing system, because once again, I like the concept of role-play. Role-play is more important to me than the aspects of, power play or dice rolling or just how good is the mechanism of how the game plays. That's secondary. No role-playing game is ever perfect. I'm quite sure somebody will probably say, "Oh, this is the best. This is the best role-playing game out there. You should play this. It's so far superior to anything else." Well, it probably is until the next one comes along, or it's like getting two people to try and agree on how long's a piece of string. That's just how funny things are. But look, that is my 2 cents worth. Look, I really do enjoy old role-playing games. Metamorphosis Alpha is getting a relook at this stage as I slowly print it out from my collection. And as I said, give MR Forbes a read or a listen to. Quite worth the investment in time to listen or read. So until next time, signing off, the Honourable John.